Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's December 9th, 2023. This warmed up yesterday, got above freezing, so all the snow melted. And I thought I'd take advantage of a day that's going to get up to 50 degrees Fahrenheit today. And so right now I'm over here by Pond 8. Pond 8 is the pond that's one of the most recent ponds that I dug. And it was in the forested area where I had to carefully remove a whole bunch of the dead trees. There's still some more trees in this last windstorm, the tops of some trees that came down over there. But the pond is doing pretty darn well so far in here. It looks like the height of our walls look to be pretty good all the way around. And this is where I wanted the spillway to be, to go down to feed pond 3. And that's real close to being the lowest spot, with the exception of right up over here. But I think that that's still a couple inches lower than the rest of the area. So I may end up going over there and working on that. But today, on the neighbor's property here, there's a lot of water that pools in here. And I don't want to remove all of it because there's vernal pools where the frogs and salamanders mate over in here. But it gets so high over in this area that one of the things I wanted to do was put in a drainage. And so I just called the neighbor this morning. We're real fortunate. We have a really nice neighbor. And I spoke with her about a couple of things, but about putting a drain across here, whether I just dig a small little drainage swale going from here into the pond, but there might be backfeed. So what I ended up doing was going and getting some of my 4-inch pipe, and I think what I'll do is I'll bring Elon up here, dig a little bit of a trench going across over to this spot right here. Hopefully this is showing up. Digging a trench across here. Try not to disturb too many of the roots of the trees here. Either there or here, and I'm just not positive yet. One of these places, and try to get to be able to drain the bulk of the water so it doesn't come right up so high, going across and dumping into here. And I won't be doing much work over there. She's really pleasant. So, oh yeah, whatever you think you want to do, be fine. But I really don't want to do a lot off of our property. But putting a small little drainage system over here would be good. Actually, right next to this maple right here would be best. But I had transplanted all these trees in here, and that's one of the honey locust trees that I transplanted. And it's the one that I talked about, the split root, if you remember that. So we'll see how this one ends up doing. Hopefully it'll do okay. So that's my plan for part of this morning is to go get Elon, dig a little bit of a trench here, and see what we can get accomplished. And not make a big mess. This is still really, really muddy here. And I hate getting all the equipment completely packed with mud. But here we go. Okay, I opened this up probably 20 minutes ago, and so far it's really draining out well. I could still see the water coming from up here, working its way down and coming across to this spot that I thought that was the lowest, and then I just took a couple scoops out of there. and opened up this section here. It was running pretty rapidly at first, and quite a bit of water has been coming over, so I'm going to give this a few more minutes to finish. But I may have to take that down over there just a little bit, the spillway, so that when we do get full, we'll be all set over there. And one of the things I did do is I went ahead and decided to put a some sort of a screening process on the end of each here. So, and these are, I should say this, these are two 10-foot lengths of 4-inch vinyl. This is what I had, pipe. And so that end is flanged, this end is not flanged. This is the end that probably will get more packed, so I'm going to have this towards the neighbor's property, into the neighbor's property. And this should be easy to clean out. And I drilled a small pilot hole through the pipe and the strainer here, and put a small stainless steel bolt, self-tapping screw bolt. Same thing on this end. So that one's there at that end as well. And we're getting close to the point where I can put this in. I probably can put it in now. And that should take care of it. Should work out just fine. Just about there. So this is a good spot. Maybe next year I might put another drain over, and that's over here someplace, but that's a little bit further from the pond there. And I still will be putting in some vernal pools and a pond between pond 1 and pond 8 up here. Hopefully next year. We'll see how things go. So, time to move on. So the drainage pipe appears to be working pretty well right now. Going into pond 8. This is all muddy, of course. And the end is just below the surface over here. Now it does mound up a little bit here, so it isn't a straight level line going across here. I wanted to have it that way, but there was erosion at this side, so this end of the pipe is a little bit lower than this end, but it really is doing an adequate job of draining the area. Although you probably can't see it on video, there's still water. I could still see water making its way down here. So we'll see. I think this is pretty good. I don't want to completely drain the vernal pools. We want those in the springtime to be present for all the wildlife here. Really important. I'll clean this up next year once this ground solidifies a bit more. But this is draining well. And as the water gets closer to the top of the walls of the pond, I think we're in real good shape. There's a little bit of a low spot right there, but it mounds up next to the tree, so we're okay there. And I brought Elon over here. I may just go ahead and right where Elon is, just carve a little bit out so that it has a chance to make its way down there. So that's probably all I will do, is just make a little bit of a spillway there. That's what I planned for the spillway. Remember, that's a sloped area for wildlife to be able to get out of there easily. no matter what level the pond is at. Sometimes turtles have a hard time making their way up the steep bank sides. So, and I may end up cutting that back next summer sometime. We'll see how everything works out. But I'm really pleased with draining that area some, getting the water level down. And that'll help with this whole roadway area here. This will eventually start to dry up much better since we don't have the water feeding its way in. So quite a bit of water still coming through. So I'm going to go over there now and maybe take a couple of scoops, lower that a little bit because it looks like it goes up a little bit right where Elon is. And I wanted to go down to pond 3. Pond 3 is right down there. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, it's a few minutes later. I did some work over there. We'll go over there in just a second. Water's still running here. It's amazing how large a volume of water is in the soil that's saturated here and all the leaves that are here. So that's all going to continue to drain. You can see the water's still doing pretty well right here, coming through. So this pond, I'm going to call it full now. And I just worked over there. We'll walk over there to the spillway area. When I get over here, it does look like it mounds up a little bit, but I think that's the path of least resistance here. We'll walk over and have a look. You never know how high the banks are going to be when you dig it the way that I dug it in here. Little bits and pieces at a time and amongst the trees. So the banks are a little bit high right here, but that's okay. I'll build up over there in the future. And I'm pretty certain the water's going to work its way out to the area that I just used Elon to make this spillway a little more obvious. So just a couple more inches here and we'll be starting to make our way down the spillway. And so I just worked this down here to create somewhat of a path, trying to keep it from going down here. My desire was to make it to go right down this path right here. And it goes right down this path right here. It can cut any place in here. Is right here, and I'll work on this next year. It's real muddy here right now. So this is our entrance to pond 3 right here. This tree here is eventually going to come out, but this is the entranceway here. And I've got a lot of road work to do over the next few years. But this is one of those easy ingresses, egresses for all the wildlife here. We have a couple of them. Really makes it nice and easy for the wildlife to get in and out. Same thing over here. Where this is really nice. The deer come right down in here, walk right down in here any time of year, even in the winter time, move the snow away, break through the ice, and can get their water without risk of getting hypothermia and getting stuck there. And this is the stone wall area that I took out this season, or I took out over the last couple of years. And there's that vein that actually comes down here. And I think that's one of the things that keeps this pond full, even though it is a gravel base and sand base. So that's it, the work on pond 8. Got the neighbor's property somewhat drained. Good neighbor relations helps with her property and helps with pond 8, and dressed up the spillway there. That's it for today's video. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. And by all means, folks, stay safe and take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.